All right, good morning. We're going to see if we can make an HTML table. So have an example already pre-made up. We're just going to take that example and recreate it again and with some modifications and things. So first thing I need to do is, as always, start a new file. Let's call this as is tradition and necessary index.html. Cool, that's nice. And let's go into our style folder and let's create a new file there and call this, I don't know, table style.css. All right. For my table style, let's just do some quick little things. I'm going to say body. Let's make the body. Let's do background color of a beige, just because it's boring. Let's do a width of 90%, and then margin, because I want this centered. Remember, the trick here is that we center it with a 0. That means the top has 0 margin and the rest is auto, and so that should center everything. All right. I'm going to put another line in here just while we get to that, but we will be dealing with table datas, and I'm going to make a background color here as a little bit of a contrast to what we do. So I'm going to go with biscuit, just because. All right, you'll see why later. All right, let's get into the meat of it. I have a blank HTML page. So as is tradition, as is necessary, we start with doc type HTML. Cool. Then the next thing is, everything in here is HTML. So we put an HTML tag, and then we know that we need a, as is tradition, we need a head, and we need a body. Cool. We'll mess with the head, we'll mess with the body in a sec, but we know in the head that we need to have a title. And so this title is going to be, I'm going to say my demo table. Cool. And while I'm here, let's go ahead and link that CSS. So the href, which is the URL to it, is going to be here. So style, tablestyle.css. That's why I'm using the IDE I have here, because it makes it easy. We need to say what the type is. Got to spell right. Say what the type is. And yep, it's a text.css. Make sure we're using quotation marks. And then finally, the relationship here will be a style sheet. Cool. Almost make it so I don't have to think. All right. We could possibly have some more things in here, but well, that's fine. The other thing we want to do is let's go ahead and say that we are writing this in English so that the web browsers can be happy with us. All right, let's get to the body. Let's start off with a header. This is a table illustration. Spelling. Okay, and let's do a paragraph. Just say, put a table here. All right. The reason. Control Z. Hey, look, I just accidentally deleted everything. How do I fix my problems? Control Z undoes, and Control S saves it. If I really wanted to, I can go to Control Alt S, and that saves all. So that save all technique is very important. Okay, why did I stop here? Because I've been going for at least 5 minutes now, and I don't even know if this is working. So I need to check to see if this is working. So as I was saying, let's just test this and make sure it works. I'm going to go ahead and use the auto preview feature in Fusion 360 in brackets, and I think that is, yep, that looks quite acceptable. So let's go ahead. I don't really want a paragraph here. I want a table. So here's the first of our new tags. This is very much like starting a list. There's a hierarchical nature to this. Also, when you're building when you're building a table in CSS, you build it row by row. So let me bring up my demo again. I can't think about this in columns. I have to think about build a row, build a row, build a row. And that kind of helps me do it. So let's start off with putting in a table. All right. Now, the first row of our table is going to be called our table head. The rest of them are going to be table rows. And so this is how we're going to do it. So the first row is a table head, and rows are made up of data. So those are TDs. So let's go through and make our TDs as we go through. So I can make up nonsense words here, or I can just go off of what's on this table. So I think, let me see if I can drag this a little bit further over here. Good. I think I'm just going to match this until I get bored. So ID, cool. TD. And, oh, I got some red here. Why are you red? Why are you red? Okay, I got some red here. Let me pause real quick and figure out why that's red, just so I'm not doing something wrong. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have made the first mistake of the evening. These are table headers, but they still need to go into a table row. So we will fix that very momentarily. So in our header row, which I'm putting in right now, let me do some refactoring real quick. Ooh, let's see, that is all just gone to the pit. So let's just do ID / table head. All right, there. I'm not paying attention to the autocorrect is doing. So let's try that again, table head. Over here, the next one is XKCD. No affiliation, table head, close that up. Next one, let's say, just following my example, turbo. Next one here is going to be, I don't know, another table header, and this is going to be cat. All right, so these are my table heads. Let's put another row in, and then we'll check our work. So table row, cool. This time, though, we're going to put in TDs, which are table data. So we're going to say 1, cool. But now, if you notice in my example over there, I'm using alpha, Greek letters, alpha, beta, gamma, the first 3 letters in the Greek alphabet. So if we come in, let me say my work. If we come and look over here, you are seeing some implementations of my style. So notice my columns are all like that, but my headers don't have that nice color in the background. So let me show you how to fix both of those issues. So I'm going to look up the Unicode for alpha. So we have the Greek letter alpha. I don't think this is, let me see if I found a better one. Here we go. Yeah, this is good enough. So here is the Greek letter alpha, which is what I want. And we notice the Unicode for that is in decimal 954, or in hex 30B1. Or we can just do at alpha. What this is are escape characters. So let's go back in and see if that works. So if I say escape character, I'm going to put in a number. I want to put it in hexadecimal 3B1. Okay. Oh, and then a semicolon at the end, so knowing that we have escaped out of the escape character. And you'll notice right over here on the left, it is there. Notice this color is still here. So let's edit our style a little bit. So the TD has the background color we want. Let's make the table head its own background color. So let's make it beige. That's nice. Also, let's do some fixed width here. So I'm going to say width 50 pixels should be plenty big for what we're doing here. Hit save. Oh, background beige. It's already beige. Let's pick a different color. Let's go anti-white. Yeah, that works. I like that better. So what have we done here? Just to recap, I've set the table data at a width of 50 pixels, fixed width, at a bisque color. The table heads, which are individual things in a row still, are, as you see right here in that other color, and we have a background color beige. This is nice, well, should be centered, but it looks, the body is centered. The body is centered, but the text is left justified. So the body is still centered, so we're still good. Let's move on. Let's move on. So I'm going to come back to here. I'm going to hit Control-Alt-S just to make sure I save everything. I'm going to come back to my index, which I'm working on, and let's keep working on this. So we notice that the next letter in the sequence, TD, is beta. Well, I know what alpha is. We see it right here on the side. Alpha is 955, or 3B1 in hex if you like. Beta is the next letter. So let's see if that works. Let's go $, number sign, because I'm putting in a number. This time I'm going to put in a decimal number. I don't need to put the X to say it's hex. So I'm going to say 956, semicolon, and yes it is. That's a beta, okay? In fact, TD, let's do escape, and I bet you if I say gamma, see, if I say gamma, gamma will show up, right? So there's 3 ways we can do Greek letters, and a lot of ways to do Unicode. So I'm done with that row. That's cool. I'm done with that row. So let's come and what's on the next row? The next row is going to be some numbers here, but also have a row span going on here. So let me show you how to do that. So we go TR, because it's another table row. Very good. I want to put in some table data now. The first one is the number 10. Cool. TD. The next one is the number 7. So far, so good. But the next one is going to span 2 rows. So I'm going to say TD, row span, lowercase letters, row span equals 2. And this one is going to be blue. I think I need to put that in semicolon. I'm not 100% sure. Okay. Not 100% sure, but let's just say it anyway. Okay. And didn't quite do that, right? So row span equals 2. Let's put in the, so, and that's the end of that row. Oh, I think I know what's going on there. We'll get back to that in a sec. I did a fixed width of 50, right? So I'll show you in a sec. So let's do the next row real quick, and then I'll go back and fix that. But you notice how this blue is not spanning over? I need to go back and fix that. But while I'm on a row, let me go ahead and finish out the table, and we'll come back and fix that. So TD, this is going to be 11. TD, this is going to be asterisk. TD, this is going to be 7. And then TD again, yeah, the boring part, watching me type, is going to be 33. Cool. 1 row left to go. 1 row. Oh, look, that's where I screwed up. It's spanning the row. I don't really want to span the row. Another mistake here. I want to span the column. So sometimes it is useful to go and stop what you're doing and go fix it. And other times just get done with the thing you're working on and then come back and the answer will become obvious. And that's what just happened here. I didn't want to row span. I didn't want to make it go spanning over multiple rows. I wanted to make it span over multiple columns. All right, 1 row left to finish. So we go TR. Pretty good. Pretty good so far. TD, and this is going to be 100. TD, and this is going to be U. TD, and this is going to be R. TD, and this is going to be great. All right, cool. This is looking really good now. But I want the U to be blue and the blue to be red. But I don't want anything else to do that. because I want to keep all the other text black, if you see in my example over here. And this is where we now get to play with IDs. Or IDs, or we could also play with classes. And because there might be multiple text I want to turn these colors, I'm going to make a class. So I'm going to say class equals red. All right. I'm going to make class equals red. And then over here on the blue, I'm going to put a class in here. I'm going to say class equals blue. Now, you can use capital letters here, but that is generally not the correct tradition. Okay, save my work. Everything's looking good. I'm talking about style now, so we need to go over to the style sheet to do that. So let's do some things. While I'm in here, just for the fun of it, I'm going to show you a thing we can do. I can say the table. I can set a background color for the table, make it aqua. And it is sort of like a border. Ooh, but that doesn't look very good. Let's try again. Let's set a background color of azul. I don't like it as much, but for the sake of argument today, we're going to move on. So now I want to identify the classes. So classes are dots. So I'm going to say dot red right here. And that's the bell. So I'm going to have to finish this up later. But you can see where we go from here. We're going to say red. We're going to say color equals red. And you will notice over here it's red. We're going to do the same thing for blue. Hopefully this was useful to y'all.